All right. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We've got the Unnamed Podcast. We're coming up with a name for it. I've recorded some in the past, but I've got Connor Beckman joining me today. Unfortunately, I'm the only one on the camera. But yeah, happy to start this up, Connor.
Absolutely.
So what we're thinking is it's me and Connor. We're doing this podcast as a duo. I think it'll make it a lot more entertaining having two voices, and we're going to be interviewing some different guests, local people in the real estate world, in the rentals world, in the lenders world, bunch of different things. But we're going to start out this episode just kind of introducing ourselves, telling you guys what we're about and kind of what we're thinking of for the podcast. So why don't we start with you, man? Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you got going on.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as you said, my name's Connor Beckman. I'm a local mortgage lender here in the Myrtle Beach area. So our team is tailor-made home loans. We're technically backed by a company called Alcova Mortgage, but really our team just focuses on anything real estate. You know, if it's anyone looking to buy, sell, invest, leverage real estate to go to the next one, first-time home buyer, we just want to be the first call for anything real estate.
For sure.
So our goal is to connect with anyone in that mutual wheel space of real estate, figure out ways that we can add value to them. Same way that you do that with clients, referral partners, whoever it may be. But ultimately, just going into it, figuring out how can we better the Myrtle Beach local real estate market, whether that's for the agents, for the lenders, for the property managements, or for the homeowners, figuring out ways to add value in any way possible.
For sure. And how'd you get into it? What's
great story, actually. So when I got into the business, I knew I was going to do something in real estate. I didn't know exactly what that was going to be, but my mom was a transaction coordinator for Grand Dunes Properties.
Okay.
I have an uncle in the area who actually owns Grand Dunes Properties. I have another uncle in Charlotte who's also in the mortgage field as well. And so I knew just from the correlation and all the mutual connections in my family, it's going to be something real estate, And I just naturally fell into mortgages. I took a liking to it. I've always loved math and numbers. And I felt like I'd be able to help more people just because it's not as laborious, meaning with showings and driving buyers around and things like that. So that was what really appealed me to it. But once I got into it, I just realized how much I love it. Being able to talk with clients, agents, strategize on deals, it's like a puzzle for me.
Yep.
Hey, we have a client who needs something. We have an agent who needs to help their client. Here's the scenario. All right, how can we put this together for them?
Cool.
So that's a little bit of the backstory. But I went to the University of South Carolina, graduated college, and instantly jumped in. Haven't looked back since.
Nice, man. I love it. Go Gamecocks, baby. We're big Gamecocks fans here. We won't invite on any Clemson fans. Maybe we will. There's a lot of those around here. But cool stuff. And how maybe how big's your team now, and what's kind of your future goals, I guess?
No, that's a great question. Here in Myrtle Beach, we're still a very young company.
Mm-hmm.
When I got in, I actually got in with my uncle, Chris Taylor. And at the time, they were tailor-made home loans. And some changes happened, and the team ended up splitting. And so now me and a group of guys have tailor-made home loans, and that's what we're looking to grow.
Gotcha.
So there's 5 offices across North and South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Taylor Croy is the division president of tailor-made home loans. He runs the Charlotte office. A lady named Tanya runs the Raleigh and Greensboro office.
Nice.
Austin Combs, he's kind of a sales manager over the whole area. Now, if you look at all of tailor-made home loans, really about 25 people across sales, operations, underwriting, closing, the whole 9 yards. But here in Myrtle Beach, on the sales side, me and a guy named Shane Johnson run it all.
Nice.
Our goal is just to run with me and Shane, keep doing what we're going to do, connect with the right people, and we may add other loan officers as we go. But we're not searching. It's kind of, if we find the right fit, we're not going to say no, but we're not actively out there looking to grow and have the biggest team possible.
Right. Awesome. And what's your idea for the podcast? What are you thinking? I know we talked and we went back and forth and had some ideas, but what's, how about this? Who's the ideal guest that we want to have on here?
Yeah, the ideal guest, when you think of it initially, you think of the heavy hitters in Myrtle Beach who consistently make an impact. For example, a very humble person in the area is Jason Green, an agent with Grand Dunes Properties. Top producer, consistently doing multi-million-dollar properties, by far one of the most humble and generous people I know. So someone like him would be great just because they can show the success that he has while also showing the humble side of it, what it took for him to get there. Same thing with other agents in the area, like Mike King, for example, Jamie Broadhurst, Scott Tremblay. There's the list could go on and on. Kevin Mills, Greg Harrelson,
Yeah.
all of the main brokers who have grown those teams and have been dominant in the area for the last 20 years, they all have amazing stories that they can share with other agents or even with clients as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like people like that could provide value based on their experience with both clients and agents.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's a huge value. But also, I think we just need to find people who can come on and give value to homeowners and agents all around.
Yeah.
Whether that's an insurance agent coming on and talking about insurance issues, whether it's old roofs or increasing premiums, you diving into the property management and what you might be seeing.
Yeah.
And then, kind of tying that all into one narrative of, hey, look, here's the issue that we're talking about from different avenues or different aspects as well.
Yeah. I think the thing people always say about real estate is it's like hyper local, right?
Yeah.
So it might seem kind of goofy that we're just focusing on real estate, but the other cool aspect is there's so many pieces and there's so many jobs, and careers out locally in Myrtle Beach that all impact real estate. Like you mentioned, like roofing, right? Like they're not in real estate, but roofing, you got to replace a roof. That's a big deal. You want to know that when you're buying a house, right? So I think there's potential to interview like a wide range of people, but still keeping like the core focus around real estate.
I mean, an example of that spot on is I have a handyman and he has a handyman company and a pool company.
Yeah.
And he calls me once a month asking what rates are. Yeah. And the reason for that is he knows, hey, when rates drop, my clients are willing to do cash out refis to pay for the pools. So he kind of judges his business based on where's the market at overall.
Yeah.
How much cash can they access, meaning our price is high and rates low?
Yeah.
Because that's ideal for his business, So as you open that umbrella, we'll start to see a ton of different industries come in.
Yeah.
We'll start to see a ton of different people. And, at first it might be like, how's this person going to relate to real estate?
Yeah.
But as they start to talk and share their story, you'll see how that market really impacts everyone here.
Absolutely. And just for a little bit on me, so I'm in the property management world. We do long-term rentals and vacation rentals. Companies, My Beach Rentals and Beach Rental Group. We got to combine into one name just to keep things more simple, but that's down the road. But to Connor's point, I love the investment side of things. I love what real estate does for people, particularly investors, because that's primarily who I work with. But there's still a ton I have to learn. Like the thing you just, these sort of creative ideas around like, the interest rate drops and then people are going to refinance and add a pool. That I would love if all my homeowners with homes added pools, so it'll be cool to learn and just educate myself further, but also just educate, the folks listening and hopefully bring a lot of value. And I want to bring on some people that, may not even be super experienced or have done a lot of deals, but still have a cool story to tell. And I think, I hope the real estate community kind of embraces and enjoys the podcast. Because I think there's a lot of potential for it. It's a small town. Everybody knows each other somewhere and another. But you also know a lot of people just surface level. I think this is an opportunity to dive a little deeper with folks.
Absolutely.
And see what they're about, see what their story is. So
no, I agree with that. Now, when you look at your business, are you focused on a specific area? Do you have an ideal client? I mean, I kind of know this answer, but helping the viewers get a better idea of, what is your forte when it comes to property management?
Yeah. So how I describe it is we do, like I said, we do long-term rentals and vacation rentals, two really different animals for investors, right? Long-term rentals, everyone's familiar with those. Those are your people that are renting for a year. Usually they stay a few years, not a whole lot of turnover. They're consistently good. You're not going to get super rich off one rental, right? But, they provide consistent returns for real estate investors. And it's one of the best performing assets out there in the investment world. For those, we manage long-term rentals all over Horry County. So we'll go down to Surfside, we'll go up to Little River, out to Longs, out to Conway. Vacation rentals, it's a little different. Vacation rentals, we tend to be a lot more hands-on just because there is a lot more turnover. People on vacation are also a lot more needy than people on, who rent a home for a year. So the service aspect on the vacation rentals is a lot more difficult. So we keep that a little tighter. We primarily focus in North Myrtle Beach. As far as like the properties, if we were gonna, talk about like the class of properties that manage on the vacation rental side, we try to manage mostly larger properties. We manage about 75 in total. We want to get bigger for sure, but we also have realized the importance of quality, right?
Mm-hmm.
And quality extends through communication. Quality extends through, your maintenance team's ability to get out there and assess issues. So we know we'll never be massive. I just think to provide the great service that we want to provide, we got to be a little bit smaller. On the long-term side, we have about 250 rentals, and we're trying to grow on that side as well. I love both sides. I think, typically it's a little bit different of a client you're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with on both sides. I wouldn't say there's one if I was going to put one ideal client out there, it would be sort of like a whale,
Yeah.
somebody that's coming in and buying a lot of properties. I think those are the best people to work with because they're experienced. They know what they want.
Have the right expectations.
They have the right expectations, right? Yeah, it's probably the same on the lending and the sales side and insurance and all that sort of stuff, right? It's very straightforward, and that's what I like about the investment side is there's very little emotion on what I do. I take that back. There's a lot of emotion, but at least I know the ultimate goal is we got to hit our numbers. We got to hit our revenue numbers. If I do that, there's not as much emotion.
Yep.
When we don't do that, there is a lot more emotion. So no ideal client, but just really looking to help as many investors as we can. Because like I said, I love what it does for people. I've seen how it's impacted my family, and I want to help more people experience that.
I think one thing that as we get deeper into this podcast, you'll be able to help the viewers with is just understanding everything that entails on the short rental side of things. Meaning, hey, look, this is a nightly rental or a weekly rental or something like that. Just from this, how much is involved in real estate. They probably don't think about, you have the cleaners come in. Well, now you need a maintenance crew for the one-off issues. Now if you have a single family home, you need a landscaper and a pool company and different things like that.
Yep.
So you probably see it more so how many different industries are truly tied into the real estate market than a lender does, just because we're just helping them finance it.
Yeah.
You're dealing with the upkeep and the everyday issues that the homeowners can more so relate to on a daily basis.
Yeah. And we work with like vendors and sort of maintenance companies a ton, but I'm talking about like plumbing and pool companies and HVAC. We work with a lot of those service businesses frequently, day to day. But it would also be great to learn how to leverage the insurance folks more, the lenders more, the real estate agents more for the clients that we have, because there is for sure opportunity when, like you said, interest rates change, or even now it's a little bit tighter of a market for vacation rentals. It really is a challenging market to do well right now, just with a variety of factors, and we're a competitive market. But it'd be great if I have a go-to insurance guy that I can say, hey, you go to him. He's going to be able to save you some on insurance, cut down your monthly bill. That's going to help us overall this year. And then we use this tool and this tool. I think that'll be a cool aspect of it too. Is we're going to be able to extend our toolkit of people we know and can use and help.
Absolutely. One thing I always tell clients when they think about their cash flow or just looking at ways to cut expenses is you need to have a good financial advisor, CPA in that wheelhouse as well. I previously had a client who met with their CPA and took a look at their cash flow, their expenses for the expected property they're looking to buy. And their CPA broke down how much they were going to save on taxes. And that was the justification for them to buy it as well.
Wow.
At first they're like, hey, we have a shortfall of $4,000. But once they looked at taxes, they realized, well, I can write off X, Y, and Z and save X amount on taxes. There's that shortfall,
Yep.
And so as you said, it's just expanding that mind. It's a challenging market for sure,
Yeah.
but it's also a market that you have to go into with a strategy. And the more people that you have with consistent and confident results, you're golden. You have that strategy developed, and now you're just helping people realize what that strategy is and utilize the proven strategy already.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's always opportunity. Like I said, it's a challenging market on the vacation rental side, but there's always opportunity. I think back, kind of yesterday, I was helping a realtor, and she was talking about one community for a client that she has looking. And I said, hey, have you checked out this community? And they kind of just wrote it off because they misunderstood a few things about what the HOA allows. And now that client is all in, possibly on that community, and he's gonna, it's gonna be better for everybody because the real estate, the realtor is gonna get close on a larger property. The buyer is gonna have a better cash flowing property potentially. So yeah, it is. the more people you know and the better your network is, you can for sure find opportunities in this market.
Without a doubt.
So very cool. Well, I'll also throw this out there. If you're interested on being on the podcast, we'd love to talk to you about it. We're going to aim for probably 4 a month, I think is kind of our rough goal. But we'd love to have you. So you can reach out to me I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, Declan McGonigal. Last name is McGonigal. Connor, what's the best place to find you?
Anywhere. I mean, if you can't find me, there's an issue.
Yeah, there's a problem. Yeah,
just type in Connor
point.
Beckman in Google. You'll find my personal phone number, my business phone number, my office phone number, my Facebook, my Instagram.
It's
you can DM me, whatever. Get in touch with me any way possible, and I'll definitely see it.
Cool. Well, yeah, guys, we're looking forward to getting this thing going. This was just kind of the introductory episode that we were putting out there. We were also testing a few things, making sure we have it all in order, but we're looking forward to it. We're going to have a lot of good guests. We're going to hope to provide a lot of value and connect a lot of people and, get more deals done. So I hope you join us. We'll figure out a name for it, but otherwise, thanks for stopping in.
Beautiful.
Sweet.